Hi, good evening, everybody. We'll just wait till it starts 4 o'clock. That's another 1 minute from now, and then we'll get started. Just hold on for a few seconds. Before that, I'll just repeat these instructions. Anybody who wants to ask me any question, you can always ask me questions on the chat, live chat box at any point in time. A few people are there in Zoom with me. So before we start, it's another 30 seconds probably before we get started. So just adjust. People are ticking in. I'm using Zoom and YouTube live, but Zoom access I've given to very few people just because from a perspective of sharing of information. So most of the students have been given access to YouTube. So before we get started, okay, I think now it's time is 4 o'clock, so let's get started. So good evening, everybody. Hi, my name is Ramni. I think most of you would be knowing me. So let's get started. Humble request. Anybody, any questions? Feel free to shoot me your questions on the chat box. I think I should hope to give justice to most of the questions asked. Uh, Kirti, a small request. Can in case anybody has posted any questions, just type it again, or in case I miss out any questions during this, I would need your help from that perspective. So thank you so much. So let's get started. Before that, let me tell you the mix that the audience who have actually enrolled for today's session. There are a few people from engineering background. There are a few from marketing background, finance background, HR background, predominantly MBAs. I have some people from BCom as well. There are some students from BCA as well. So that's the predominant mix that I have. So let's get started, and I start with the slide share options. So first slide which I want to talk is this is a nice humorous slide. All of us will understand and resonate with this slide a lot. 10th ka exam is over or results has been declared, 12th results is declared, and you always had that uncle or auntie who used to always come and ask you, especially when our marks are not high, kitna mila, how much did you get? And that question used to get on people's nerves. But then there is a small hidden message probably of how the world sees success in all of us. People don't value what efforts you do. People predominantly focus on what result you got. The result could be marks, the result could be in terms of salary, the results could be in terms of designation. I don't want to put labels to it like marks, designation, salary, cars, houses, lands. No, but what I wanted to say is people predominantly give importance to the outcome or the result rather than focusing on the effort that people have put in. Now, this might sound good when we are at the receiving end, it might sound as bad. But then when we are there on the other side, this is how we evaluate. A small, just a question for thinking, just go ahead and think a bit. First thing which I want to ask you is a precursor kind of a thing. If you get a choice to work in two companies, the salary is the same, the designation is the same. One is an unheard startup and one is a reputed company. Which company would you want to work for? You can type your answers, but then when I did a small survey, most of the times it was people who always said reputed company mein job mila to acha hai. I want a job in a reputed company. Salaries being same, designation being same, not many people were outright willing to work in a startup. XYZ reasons. Guarantee of salary hai, nahi hai, whether the company will grow, not grow. I don't want to justify the answers, but is this not how we also evaluate companies? Just like the auntie who used to ask us kitna mila marks, the same way we also focused on reputed companies because their results were there for everybody to see. I am not saying this is right or wrong. I'm saying this is how people think, this is how we think, this is how all of us think. So going to one more example. Given a choice before you retire, do you want, if I give you a choice to retire as CEO, chief executive officer of the company or the head of the organization, or would you like to retire as chief technical officer, chief marketing officer, or chief finance officer? Which would you want to retire as if you had a choice? I'm sure you can type the answers again, but I'm sure most of the people would say CEO. Everybody wants to be the head of the organizations. Everybody wants to be the, they want to be the topmost in any company if given a choice. Okay, retirement ke time pe, I want to be the head of the company. CEO, CTO, Chief Technical Officer or Chief Marketing Officer still is one level below the CEO of the organization. So somewhere designations also matter. Why I'm asking you these questions? Hold on, I will connect it in the next 5 seconds, 5 minutes. For the next few minutes, I want all of you to assume, just assume for a few minutes that you are a chef. You are basically a chef, the best cook in Bangalore, the best cook in Karnataka, the best cook in India. Think for a few seconds, get into the role, get into the character. Character ke andar ghus jao. Now I ask you a small question. Suppose if I give you a choice, okay, every restaurant, every chef in town would actually want to own a restaurant. एक ख्वाहिश रहता है ना कि खुद का एक रेस्टोरेंट चालू करना. I have to start my own restaurant. Now my question is, in your restaurant, Bhagwan says Tatastu, Allah says Tatastu, Khuda, Jesus Christ, all gods come and conspire and make you the best chef. Don't you think any chef will want to have one restaurant of his or hers? In that restaurant, don't you think, where do you think will you be sitting? Aapka naam ka restaurant ban gaya. Ramani wanted to start a restaurant and I made a restaurant. Where will I be sitting in my restaurant? Think about it. Cash counter? Exactly. Cash counter is where every owner of the restaurant will be sitting. He or she might go to the restaurant kitchen, teach how to do, give the recipe, but will be sitting in the galla, the cash counter. That is sales, that is marketing, that is where money is coming in. Please understand, success of a company, success of an organization, the head of the organization predominantly will be sitting in a place which is the cash part, the sales part, the business part, the money coming in part, because that is where you can take strategical decisions on the success of the company, which is defined today by the money in, money out, the profits that the company is making. This is the sad truth or the good truth. I don't want to debate on whether it is right or wrong, but this is the truth. People evaluate success of companies or success of individuals by which post they have reached, the head topmost post. Every topmost post guy of any organization would be the CEO of the company, would be measured on the revenue or the profits that the company makes. This is very, very clear. So this is what I want you to start thinking about. I'll give another example just to make ruffle up people's minds. Which do you want to be? Do you want to be the best architect in town with no orders, or an average architect with lots of orders? Think about it. I don't want to feed thoughts into your mind. By default, survival ka question, we want to survive in this world. Somewhere or the other, we'll always say, if given a choice and I have to pick between this and this, probably I will pick up the average architect with lots of orders. That's how predominantly we start focusing on. So why I'm bringing up this is because, of course, let me make a very strong disclaimer. These are very generic examples, nothing personal against people. It may vary people to people, but most of the people would want to get into CEO levels. Khud ka restaurant hai, I want to be at the cash counter, and given a choice of the salary being the same, I would probably pick an established company rather than start my job in a startup. Why? That's where we come from. So coming with this precursor in mind, I have some pointers, some fundas, some of my fundas with my own experience. Just humorously, I have put it as Andeka funda, okay, which came first. Let's now understand the next point. Now, I remember this Hera Peri ka dialogue, Maal kidhar hai, paisa kidhar hai. Now, what dictates a business? Predominantly, the product quality. If you learn design thinking, everybody understands, find the problems that customers faces, and then create a product that can solve their problems. This is the essence of design thinking from any startup's perspective. So what governs business? What governs various departments? R&D is dependent on finding the problem of the customer. Why? Because if I can have a problem that solves some customers, if I have a product that can solve customers' problems, then I have a winning solution for a marketplace. The products are governed by the market. The research and development is designed by the market. Antiviruses were needed. The market designed that companies pumped in money to make the antiviruses or the vaccines. Production depends upon market conditions. You don't produce irrespective whether there is a customer or not. You will go into a loss. Finance and fundings. Any VC who you go and approach for startups is not probably interested in how good your idea is. He probably starts working on how am I going to make back my return on investments. Dala hua paisa. How is it that I can get back? So that is where funding comes from. Funding comes from market acceptability, which is nothing but the business development that this product, this idea can take in the marketplace. Similarly, manpower. It's very easy to get people in an established company to work for you rather than getting people to work in a startup. This is something which I personally am also facing in some of the startups that I'm mentoring. So this is something which I wanted you to say. So what dictates various departments is predominantly the business or the sales that this company is making. So somewhere around, sales is like the lifeline of the organization. It's like the heart of the organization. So this cannot be discounted. With due respects to all departments, this cannot be discounted. If the heartbeat is not there, the sales is the heartbeat. If this heartbeat is not there, somewhere organizations might not get the right kind of people, might not get the right kind of funding, might not get the right kind of loans, might not be able to find out products, because I might have the best product, but if there is nobody to buy it, then I'm out of business. A classic example, Windows Microsoft is the best, it's not the best operating system in the world, but it is the most sold and most used operating system in the world. Why? Because it was able to create an impression that it's very user friendly and easy to use. So that brought about a huge market change and everybody started using Microsoft Windows. But at the same time, Linux was probably a far better operating system than Windows, but then it was not able to capture the market. So somewhere or the other, sales plays a strong role because that's the lifeline of any business. So with this, anybody has got any questions till now, you can type me your questions. Like I said, anybody, any questions, feel free to ask me your questions. I will definitely answer these questions as the time goes by. I need another 30 minutes of my session. That's all. It's a very small session because it's more from a career planning. So you can type your questions on YouTube as well. So let me go further. So now I come to some myths of sales. Now, when I say sales, a lot of people I interact with, first thing the sales are no need, man. I can't go to houses and ting tong, you want. So I thought the first thing before I start any career plan from a sales perspective, I thought I need to focus on and remove some myths. A lot of false belief systems have been incorporated in people's minds about sales. So I have listed down a few. If you have any more of the myths or any questions to ask, you can still keep it coming. The first thing which I learn from people is sales means no, it is all about smooth talking very nicely to people, convincing people. Let me tell you one thing, sales has got nothing to do with smooth talking. Just you only think as a customer, whenever you are purchased from people, have you always purchased because that person whom you spoke to spoke very nicely? Lot of times when a person speaks very nicely, we don't buy from that person because some thought will come into our mind. Hey, sales, people like this only, they will talk like that only, and you don't even buy it from them. See, let me give a small clarity about sales as a perspective. Why do we buy? Let us understand the buying process, because if I know why people buy, selling becomes easy or understanding sales becomes easy. Tell me something. Do people buy because of logic or people buy because of emotions? The answer you will say is both are important. People sometimes will buy for logic, sometimes buy for emotions. If I reword the question and ask you, which is more important? Do people buy more because of logic, percentage wise? Is the percentage more tilted towards emotions or more tilted towards logic? Sometimes I get mixed answers. Some people say it's more tilted towards emotions. Some people say it's more tilted towards logic. Let me clarify this. Purchases happen predominantly because of emotions only. But after buying it, we start justifying it with logic. I'll give an example. The shirt that people wear, when we go and buy a shirt, the first time when we buy a shirt, we don't even see what material it is made of. We just start emotions. This shirt, if I wear, it will look good. 4 girls will come and talk to me. My Instagram photos will be looking good. My WhatsApp photographs will look good. All these kind of things is what, and people will like this shirt. This is my lucky color. So that's why we buy this shirt. Sometimes I'm sure that people have bought a shirt which they have the same color, same thing in their wardrobe, and they justify. I went to buy a shirt, but this color no is my lucky color. When I wear this color, it looks good. Makes me look in. All kind of justification comes. Sometimes one level of justification also comes. This is 96% cotton. So because this is 96% cotton in summer, no, you will not feel hot. But the fact is, when we bought the shirt, we never even saw the material percentage. Sometimes we wanted to buy a L shirt. I am L or something. We want to buy a L shirt, large shirt, but we didn't get large. But we liked the shirt, so we went and buy medium shirt also and came. Why? And we said we will reduce our weight also, because it does not have logic. It is more from emotions perspective. So the moment I say sales is all about smooth talking, it is actually defies the logic. Smooth talking is to go with logic. People don't buy because of logic. People buy because of emotion. So the first foremost is logic. In fact, somebody is very good in talking. That person actually does not, sometimes might not do good in sales, because people start doubting people. Yeah, I see that is why. So please understand, First thing which I want to clear is sales has got nothing to do with smooth talking. Next, second myth, sales is a tough job. Targets are there. I have to achieve targets. Let me accept it. Yes, sales is a target based job. But today, HR is target based, finance is target based, production is target based. You name the department, everybody have their own KRAs and KPAs, key result areas and key performance areas. So there is a KRA, KPA targets for everybody, and the money is very big. So you want challenging jobs and you want to get your paid worth, then there is no other challenging job like sales. So the fact is today all jobs are tough. So why run away from a tough job, especially when a job which can be easily measured and take you to that next level? So I don't disagree on this, but I think as leaders and all of us being leaders, toughness of a job should not make us stop from taking that profession. So that's the second point which I want to make. Third point, a lot of times people come and say sales not thankless job hai, kitna bhi karo you don't get credit. Let me humbly pass a very important point. Sales is definitely not a thankless job. In fact, according to me, it is the only department which actually gives you credit for what you have done. Very clear, because your targets nobody can take from you whether you have achieved it or not. Other departments where the KRAs and KPAs are somewhere vague, not crystal clearly defined, sometimes people cannot give you credit for what you have done. Sometimes your bosses may take credit for what you have done, but sales may nobody can take credit for what you have done. So 100% if you have performed, you are there to stay. There is nobody in this world who can actually take credit from you if you have put in your efforts and results are there to be seen. So in fact, your output is documented very strongly in sales. So that is why sales is never a thankless job. In fact, it's the best possible job where everybody knows what you've done. CEO of the company will also know each individual level sales person's targets and achievements, how much that person has achieved. That's the best part about sales. It's not a thankless job. Some more myths. This is something because I have a lot of engineering contacts. Sales is not for engineers and technical people. I myself am an engineer. Let me tell you one thing. Sales, the process of interviews, okay, when you go and attend an interview, the fact is, haven't you sold yourself? The interview process kya hai yaar? You go to an interview and sell yourself to the interviewer for the highest job, highest salary for the job that you're applied for. That's as simple as that. So that is also a process of sales. Fantastic product, Renedo, but if that product doesn't reach the market, that is a big problem. So sales, especially people from technical backgrounds, engineers, technical, BCA students, MCA students, there is lot of scope to get into something called as technical sales. We call this solution selling. Technical sales is basically they will be getting into technology based selling, where the customer will be the head of the technical department. You need to know big technology to go and talk to him on technology. You have to convince the customer that why your technology is a better solution for the problems that his company is facing. And these are all B2B sales, not go to house. It is companies to company. We call it business to business. So there is fantastic scope from a B2B perspective for anybody to get into technical sales. So that is something which you should be thinking about. So there is a lot of scope for technical solutions. You have an advantage. Why you have an advantage? You come with best of both. You get into the business part of it and you get into the engineering or the technical side of it. So that's a nice combination, the combo effect that people come. It is hard to replace people from a technical sales background. Why? Because they come with technical knowledge plus the sales background. So it's a nice combination which works out. Sundar Pichai, for example, would have started his career in Google as a technology person, right? Coding, developing, etc. But today, nobody asks Sundar Pichai, do you know coding? Do you know C++? No. Basically, Sundar Pichai takes decisions from Google's expansion perspective and take the business to the next level. Taking Alphabet or Google to the next level. So that's predominantly from a business perspective. So there is a lot of scope to get into technical sales. This can be done. Technical sales cannot be done by a non-technical background guy because understanding the technology itself will take a lot of time. So there are engineering students, BCA students, technical students have a huge advantage in terms of getting into this area, which is not as niche as it, but there's a lot of scope for. It's not niche market where very few players are there. There are a lot of engineering graduates today. So there is an open market which is less to competition from the non-engineering or non-technical background people. So you have an advantage. That's one answer which I wanted to give. This is one more myth. Okay, this is sales people jhoot bolte hain. They lie to get orders. Let me tell you one thing. There are people like this in the market. who spoil the name of sales. But there are people like this in all professions. But let me tell you one thing, good salespeople understand that lying to get the order is a one-time effort. You cannot lie second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. So some understand something. There are people like this, the black sheeps across in all professions. So let us not talk about sales as a profession. But understand, jhoot bolke you might get order once. The second time you will not get the orders and you're out of business. So people have realized this. Good salespeople don't lie to get orders. So there is this myth, but there are black sheeps in any profession. Okay, this is the question which I got from some of the participants. Before I answer this question, let me see if any questions have come. As an MBA marketing student, what are all we learned from going marketing field? I'm going to talk about that. Marketing only field is there, or with the organization, what kind of work can you explain? I will explain that. Both of them will be taken care of. That's okay. That's okay. Kirti, it's okay. How marketing field for MBA students and what they can learn, I will definitely touch base that. So how come companies give multiple dealership with the stores besides each other? Is that a full strategy? So Karthik, I will answer this question in the next 2 minutes time. If I don't answer by the end of this, just remind this question again. That's a very nice question which I want to talk of. Okay. Now coming back to this myth which some people have asked me, is sales for ladies? Let me give you my own personal experience. When I was heading Hitachi for South India volume sales, there were partners like Wipro, HCL, etc., who used to do business for us. They were the channel partners. And let me tell you one thing, there were some partners who were ladies. There were some partner companies which employed ladies as well as guys. Say, my personal experience, and you will know, anybody who ask anybody who's been to channel sales, B2B sales, ladies do a fantastic sales or marketing job than men, for the simple reason, because when we used to do on sales funnel review management, in every week we used to meet and discuss how much sales you will do this quarter and all. When a lady tells me this quarter I will do 350,000 US dollars, I know for sure she will do at least 300,000 US dollars for that quarter. But when a guy tells I will do 300,000 US dollars this month, this quarter, I know for sure 150,000 US dollars is what will come to me. The reason is sometimes understanding the impact, ladies are better to understand people, their experience, their instincts, I do not know what, but ladies understand people better. When a guy says, okay, I'm interested in this order, giving you this order or something, they sense, ye bolne ke liye bol raha hai, just saying it for the namesake. But heart of hearts, he has got something else, or he does not have his approvals yet, or there is a competitor involved. But guys, normally when people talk nicely to them, they start thinking that probably, okay, this order is going to come, and in the end some of these orders fizzle out. So my expertise is that ladies are fantastic, and it has got no gender biases in terms of whether ladies can't do. In fact, according to me, ladies are far better in understanding people, and that gives them an extra advantage, especially in sales and marketing, especially B2B sales, where they go to different companies and make the company and make their product pitches. Sales is symbolic to pleading and begging. This is something which is a myth which when I talk to my relatives, everybody says sales means you have to beg, you have to plead, please they the order and all. No, please understand, sales has got nothing to do with pleading. I'll give a classic example from a doctor's perspective. Let me ask this question to people. So sometimes what happens is you go to a doctor, okay, and the doctor asks you some question, right? Now, my question is, when the doctor asks you some question and you tell him this is the problem, and he gives you, say, Dolo 650, okay, cough cold, he gives you Dolo 650. My question is, did anybody in this room, okay, ask the doctor, why should I take Dolo 650? Can't I take Crocin 650? We have never even asked a question to the doctor. Whatever medicine doctor gave, we went and we took it. We never even argued with the doctor. Has anybody seen a particular doctor who begged to you, please come and visit my clinic, please come and take these medicines, please buy these medicines? No. Why? From a, if I cannot compare apples to apples, but somewhere from the supply chain perspective of medicines, don't you think the doctor was a salesperson or an influencer to sell you the product? But we took it at face value. Why? Because we considered the doctor to be an expert. When I consider the doctor to be an expert, the doctor or the salespeople need not beg or plead. The fact is, good salespeople create value for your products. They create value for the customer. They understand the customer's problems and then give a solution to their problem. That is the key. Find the customer's problems and give a solution. The customer will thank you. Forget you pleading and begging. Customer will thank you for, helping him out by giving him a solution. So that is the key difference that good salespeople do. When I say myths of sales, you talk about any sales consultants who are very good in their profession. Even your dad might know some LIC insurance agents who don't give a commission back, who don't give a commission back, which is not supposed to be done. But they still have a fantastic business lined up. You know why? They probably call up 1 month before and call up your father and say, "Sir, our policy is going to expire in that day. If you want, I'm going that side. I will come and collect the check 1 month earlier." This reminder service, this coming and collecting checks, their door delivery, all these things are value added, and your father actually treasures that guy's value that person brings in. So please understand, if you are creating value, you don't have to beg. But there are some people who don't do good in sales, and they come and say, "Sir, my target is not achieved. Can you please take this or product? Please, sir, this month my house, I will not get commission. My salary will not come." And trust me, no, they are not able to make any sales. You will never buy from a person who comes and begs to you. You will probably run away from those people. But people who are there to create value. When I go to a college and I share my training program, I never say, "Please take my orders." I say, "This is what I bring to the table. This is my service offerings that I have to your college. With this is what will come to the students. This is the benefit students get. This is the benefit that the college gets." Don't you think the college would say yes, no, then we discuss on pricing. If it's acceptable, we take the order. So understand, you don't need to beg. Good salespeople create value. How to create value? I will be sharing a few slides, but I will share with you a full-fledged video which I've already done, and you can actually have a look at that. So some of your questions will get answered there. Okay. There was the next question. Yeah. Before that, let me take up the question which somebody asked up. How come a company gives multiple dealership when the stores are beside each other? Is that a full strategy? This is a very good strategy. Now here, there are two aspects. Okay. One is called sales. One is called marketing. So let me just switch off the slide share so that I can come on camera. Yeah. So there are two kinds of things. One is called sales. One is called marketing. Okay, there's a slight difference. Marketing is pulling the customers towards your product, and pushing is you have a product or a solution which you go and you give it to the customer. So sales is a part of marketing which is more from a push approach, and marketing is the whole and soul where you pull customers towards you. Now sometimes says Asian Paints, for example, these people give, or Coca-Cola, these people give you products to both the dealers of the Coca-Cola will also have Pepsi, but the same Pepsi cup which under you would have got Coca-Cola cup bottles, vice versa as well. So that is one strategy. Why is this done? Especially in consumable goods which is pulling the customer towards, which is predominantly focused on marketing. Okay, in such cases where the marketing is the main wheel of business. Okay, so in such cases, companies predominantly focus on not being able to say no to the customer. When the customer comes and asks any shop, that product should be there. For example, if I'm thirsty and I feel like having Coca-Cola, my thought of this product in my mind has come. I felt thirsty and I thought which soft drink, and Coca-Cola comes to my mind. Means marketing strategy of Coca-Cola, tick mark. The thought of the product came to my mind, tick mark. But I go to a shop and I ask him, "Coke hai kya?" That guy says, "Coke is not there. Will you have Pepsi?" 99.9% I'm going to have Pepsi and take the Pepsi. I'm not going to walk another 100 meters to another shop to take my Coke. That means marketing did the job. The sales and distribution channel failed if I was not able to cater to the demand created because of marketing. So as a strategy in consumable goods, which is strongly on a pull approach market, companies make sure that there is no customer will be saying no to the marketing. Customer should not be said no just because of a lack of a proper distribution channel system. So some part of fast moving consumable goods, you will find this kind of thing, but this is not seen in non-fast moving consumable goods. For example, durable consumable goods. Say, for example, you want to buy cars. Okay, so you will have a Honda showroom separate. You will have a both the showrooms might be adjacent to each other, but you will not have two Honda showrooms next to each other. So that's something which is ensured when the decision making process is quite high. The sales cycle time is high, and it's not a fast moving consumable good. You will still not find these kind of things. I hope I answered the question. What's his name? Yeah, Karthik, just let me know if I've answered your question. Okay? So that I can take it up from there. Okay, so let me come back to slide share. I want to spend some small time on understanding how sales evolved. Okay, this I will use my own career graph to understand how sales evolved. First thing is, when I joined my sales career in 1993, Predominantly it was like my sales manager himself said, Ramni market में जाने का, कैसा भी बेचने का, कुछ भी बोलने का लेकिन बेचने का. So say anything, everything, get the orders. In fact, they even went to the customer says, does your machine have this feature? Don't say yes or no. Say yes, take the order and come back. This was the training that we used to have. This was in the early part of 93s, okay? When it was license Raj. The product development, everybody could not actually make products. Only a select few companies, manufacturers were there in the market. Then the system evolved. License Raj got perished. The economy got liberated thanks to Narasimha Rao. The entire concept of sales changed. Within 1 year's time, the same company manager called us and said, Ramni, stop. Now, henceforth, we will not sell to anything to anybody. We will sell the right solution only, because they understood that long-term business is the key. Don't sell a product. Suppose the guy has got high duty performance machine chahiye, but he does not have budget. So don't sell him a smaller machine. He will buy the product because the price is cheap, but that will not cater to his demand in terms of, solutionary, and then he will keep blaming you for life. So we were told, don't sell wrong deals. Make sure that you give only the right solution to the customer. So this was how 95, 96 the system evolved. So it was a learning curve for us. Then came the best shocker. Today, when you buy your dish antenna, they charge you 1,000 rupees extra for installation. Then for service they used to charge you. You buy a car, 3 services free or 4 services free. Next year's servicing you have to pay. When earlier before 95, you can ask your parents, there was nothing called as service charges. Everything was included in the product. So suddenly when our product manager and the team used to say, from tomorrow onwards, when you go to a customer, you should say servicing ke liye extra charge hai, installation ke liye there is extra charge. We were like, how will the customer buy? The customer till now has been used to getting services free. So, how will he agree? So we were actually forced to do it. We started doing it, and then we realized that servicing was a separate market by itself. A small point of mention here, I was interacting in IIT Dharwad just 2 weeks back with the HR heads of Ashok Leyland. And there was a fantastic gentleman who actually made a very strong statement that the shift of Ashok Leyland from heavy mobile manufacturing is now, shifted internally. They are now focusing themselves to become the best support system across highways of India for heavy motor vehicles, the lorries that they are been selling. That means they themselves are shifted from what they earlier used to be manufacturing selling. Now manufacturing is that secondary, but we need to give the primary support across highways to all the Ashok Leyland vehicles on the highways. So don't you think they also have shifted? It is like the old Maruti advertisement. Irfan Pathan, I guess. They will be in Ladakh. They will ask a nice, cute kid, "Bhaiya, khane ko kuch restaurant hai? Nahi hai, nahi hai, nahi hai." And then they will ask, "Maruti service station hai," and then that guy will point, "Idhar hai karke." So that kind of focus. There is a lot of money in service, and service is the next big buzzword. So that was something which happened. Then came a beautiful concept in 2000. Sales itself became a service. Like BPOs, KPOs, call centers, they all started selling stuff. So sales was outsourced to basically as a service to a lot of companies. This was the next big thing. Then around 2004, my verticalization happened. Companies realized that we should not have geography based. We should also think about vertical based. Suppose I'm a glass manufacturing company. I will not sell northeast, southwest. I will sell in north, southeast, but I will sell car manufacturers glass, one salesperson on team, and for architects and house developers, one team, and normal class, one team. So they started understand the customer might need specialization of their domain expertise. So that is where the concept of engineering, technical sales, solution selling all came into picture. Then I'm sure all of us understand digital marketing. New generation understand digital marketing inside out. Now the next thing is happening is behavioral marketing. You go to Amazon.com. You say you're thinking of buying a dress. Amazon itself will pop up based on your past behaviors that you also might like this dress and give you a pop-up to induce purchase. So that is where the next level of businesses started to happen, behavioral marketing. So predominantly, this is the small evolution of sales perspective. And now the next level is sales damru. Let me tell you what a sales damru is. All of you know Shiva ka damru, right? So normally we were talking about a sales funnel, prospects to orders. Now there is a reverse damru that happens. I'll just share that in the slide. So this is the reverse damru. So predominantly sales today is happening from 3 perspectives. Unaware prospect, basically prospecting, you create awareness of the prospect, get the interested prospects to buy, and then you close the opportunity, you get a deal. But today, after getting a deal, we start farming that customer. We start finding what all things that this customer, other things that I can supply to the same customer. Then you start mining, get more information, and then you become a trusted partner. Like I get into colleges with one training program. Then after that, I understand the requirements in other areas. Then probably a visiting faculty I pitch in. Then sometimes I pitch in with gamification based workshop. Then something in pre-placement training program. So it becomes a trusted partner. Relationships are built. That is, we say 80-20 rule. 80% of any of your business will come from 20% of existing customers. So that's where you need to focus on. So this is how the concepts have changed from a sales perspective. Okay, so let me come back to see the YouTube if we have got any questions. So you give an example of Coca-Cola and Pepsi. In this case, what type of value perceived by the customer? Can I talk, Kirti? I'll answer this question as soon as I finish a couple of points. I'll take all the questions. Don't worry. Okay, so let's get this thing. So now coming back to my personal experiences with respect to sales. Sales is very simple. Follow the process. The process of following is very simple. Create value, create value, create value. And how to create value, I will be talking with some of the questions that have been asked. You also need to believe that what you are doing is right. So the first thing which I want to share here is, lot of times if you are not convinced that your product is good or your product is not good, sit with your line manager, sit with your product team, understand why your product is good. Even there are some markets which sell duplicate stuff, but the person selling the duplicate stuff knows very clearly that this sofa is a duplicate sofa, not the original sofa. But this sofa, man, the customer gets still value for half the price. He gets what all he wants from the original product. So this kind of conviction level has to be there. So if you're not convinced on the product, please spend time with your technical team, product team, production team, operation team, service team. Understand the product. Then you will get lot of clarity. Do research on competition products. You will understand that every product has got the same kind of this thing, and the pricing is nothing but value for money kind of concept. So if you are not having a very strong belief level on what you're doing, then sometimes sales becomes a challenge. Let me give the same example. A personal level pay. If I feel that this job, even if I get, I cannot do justice, the way you will do your interview will not be that good. So please think about it from that perspective. You are the product and you're applying for an interview. You will crack interviews when you know you are the best person for the job. So that is something from belief level which we need to. Okay. Last slide before I take the questions. Who should get into sales? First thing, very clear, high aspirations. Any person who feels he wants to retire as CEO or start his or her own business, then somewhere or the other, you have to start your own business. Like the best cook in town or the best chef in town will probably sit in the cash counter. Unless you understand business, you will not be able to take care of business, even though you might be the best person, best product, best thing in the world. But you need to market your product to take your business to the next level. So anybody who has got aspirations, CEO बनना है, खुद का company start करना है, then sales is the place you should start your career in. Anybody who wants a fast track growth, growth चाहिए, मेरे दम पे चाहिए. I will perform, I have to grow. If I don't perform, you can remove me from the company. Those kind of people who love challenges, who wants a fast track growth. Sales is the only program where your performance is based on performance. So make sure that you start your career in sales kind of a thing. Creative people, those who don't like doing the same things again. मैं तो बोर हो जाता same thing करने के लिए. You tell me, give me an Excel sheet and tell me to do a data entry. I cannot do it more than 1 hour. But you tell me to go and meet people, different people, day in and day out. Every person is a different person. You pick up so much things to learn about different people. So you approach different. The way you pitch to a person is totally different depending upon whom you are meeting on a daily basis. And it's no monotonous job. Every scenario is a new scenario. So the creativity inside you starts coming out. So that's something a must. Anybody who loves creative jobs, sales is one of the jobs which has got a lot of creativity. You love meeting people, you like interacting with people. This is the job for you. When I did my engineering, I could not talk to 4 people simultaneously. मैं सामने बात करता हूं तो मेरा रोहित शेट्टी का भाषा में फटिंग से. I cannot talk to people for more than for my project Viva presentation, even though I know I wrote it in my hand and was reading it. That time we did not have PowerPoint 10 slides, even we didn't have a computer as well. So understand this. So this personality change, in fact, I think sales is one of the best schools which actually bring about a personality change in 1 year's time. You do your job in sales in 1 year's time, you're a different person. Trust me, you're a totally different person by by nature. There's a total personality shift that will happen in you. So if you like meeting people, sales is probably one of the ways to see. Jack of all trades. I don't want to use the word master of none, but salespeople normally will have exposure, knowledge on a lot of things. It adds value because they are natural conversationalists. I spoke that first time, first appointment, good talking. We are not good in talking, but our exposure towards a little bit of about everything can make us engage people or initiate conversations very easily. The exposure level of talking about different things helps you in your love and in your career perspective, and you love the interaction, the love the when a salesperson comes into your gang, you normally want to hear stories from him, different stories of different situations that he or she has got. So that exposure helps you in initiating conversations even with a client or with people. People start admiring you. The exposure helps. You love traveling. By default, the job that you should be in sales. The sales by default gives you official level pay, ticket ka kharcha taken care of by the company, boarding, lodging, everything taken care of by the company. There was a time in when I was traveling in Gujarat, except for two states in Gujarat, two districts in Gujarat, I have traveled extensively. In one, Surat and Ankleshwar, I stayed there for 31 days. My job in the hotel was that menu card had got 75 dishes. In 30 days, I used to go sequentially. ये आज खाने का है, ये आज खाने का है, ये आज खाने का है. I used to keep the menu card and order dishes. Why? Because company was paying for my food, my travel, etc. So you love traveling. Sales can give it to you, and you don't have to pay the money for it. Flexibility in timings. There's a lot of flexibility in times. You can tell your boss today I'm going directly to a client visit, and you can go directly to a client visit instead of going to the office and then going to the client. You try a production. Of course, after COVID, work from home is something which is started. But sales gives you that flexibility of going directly from the customer. A little bit, bosses will be flexible in timings as long as you're achieving your numbers and targets in place. So flexibility in timings is was a given compared to production or HR or finance. There will be less flexibility from a timing perspective. Wanting to shift. Now there are some people, especially MBA students, they are from finance background, they want to shift to market. They say again, whether it's a technical solution selling, there are some solution selling, some finance solution selling, HR solution selling, career net and all these people sell careers. So predominantly HR, recruiter's job is predominantly a balance between HR and sales, where you recruit people for the other companies as a recruiter. Similarly, there are finance organizations where you have to have knowledge on financial products and services, and you go ahead and pitch those in the market. So that here is where the BBA students, the MBA students, the commerce background students also can get into technical selling or what we call as solution selling. So that's a nice shift that you can shift through marketing. And lastly, but not the least, sales is an evergreen job market. Even if a market in HR or finance at all, if at all, I mean, that's also not going to close down. But always you look at the percentage of openings in marketing or sales and the percentage of opening in all other departments, you will find the higher openings always in marketing and sales, because every company needs to have the lifeline or the blood being pumped in, and that is nothing but sales. So you have a lot of opportunities. You can shift from one area to other area. So if you are your experience will count irrespective of the platform. Unlike in technical, suppose I am a C++ guy or a Java guy, unless I equip myself with another software knowledge or another language knowledge, this experience might not count in a technical domain. But sales, you have sold a pencil, you can still sell a car. The basic background of selling is still the same. Interacting with people is the same. So it's only about a little bit knowledge given to you from a solution selling perspective or understanding the product knowledge given to you. You can get into sales. The experience will still count. That's a big plus and a big advantage. Small sum facts. There is always a salesperson inside all of us. Trust me, four people talking together and agreeing to watch the movie you suggest. Weren't you a salesperson to sell your ideas? We all can sell. We all have sold our ideas to our friend circles. It's only a question of looking at it from a different perspective. Everybody in this world can sell. A 5-year-old bacha knows how to ask for chocolate from which uncle, which way. So that is something. And when we climb the ladder of any corporate world, all the roles will merge. The principal of your college, easiest example, started the camp college, started this job as a lecturer or a professor. But today, how much time does he spend on teaching? I don't know. But as you keep getting promoted, don't you think a principal today, management only asks one question: how many placements, how many admissions? Is that not business to the college, business to the organization? So as you keep climbing the corporate world, your role will slowly start merging towards business, money in, money out. So understand something. This is a fact of life. that as you rise the corporate world, predominantly you are going to be focused on sales or business. So now I will take open the questions, and then I have last 1 or 2 slides. But some of the questions which have been asked to me, let me take it up. So yeah, so you gave example. Okay, you gave example of Coca-Cola and Pepsi. In this case, what type of is perceived by the customer? See, now this is a question from a marketing perspective, but I will still handle it. Pepsi puts a thought process of the product into your mind. I will take an easy example rather than a tough example about Pepsi and Pepsi. I will have to probably take a 2 hours lecture on marketing. Let me give a small example from a perspective of uh, 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 which is that product? Whisky Goli, and let me give the other example. One is Whisky Goli, and the other example, let me take that of Chloromint. Both are similar products, very similar products, Whisky Goli and Chloromint. But look at whom they are positioning which product for. Vicks says it's a medicine product. Gale mein kich kich, Vicks ki goli lo. That is their advertisement. From the marketing everywhere, they are focusing on medicinal product. It is available in medicine stores. That is their value proposition. You have a problem in your throat, go ahead and take Vicks. But the same thing, when you go to Chloromint, you ask anybody, when do you take Chloromint? All the people will say, after smoking, I will take Chloromint. I will not get caught. So their positioning is, it is not a medicinal product, it's a mouth freshener. And where do you get Chloromint? You get Chloromint predominantly at pan ka dukan or chai ka tapris, etc., or smoking ka adda ke paas. Now understand the value proposition. People are not buying it because they wanted to have some hard boiled menthol based chocolate. The product was positioned in their mind that Vicks means medicine or throat, and Chloromint is after smoking. Predominantly both the products are very similar. So this is what is value proposition. Kirti, did I answer your question? So like this, if you take Coke or Thumbs Up for that matter, Thumbs Up, the recent advertisement is that of Bumrah, and Thumbs Up always focuses on taste the thunder. They just like a adventurous product, the product dum hai kya kind of a product. So you look at it, most of the time it was always action heroes who used to market the product. Whether it's Salman Khan, then you had Akshay Kumar, then you had Ranveer, all stunts being done. Now that's Bumrah, and this is dum hai to Bumrah ko paste karke dikhao. Why? Because Thumbs Up is a far stronger product than Pepsi or this thing. So that's why their fizz is stronger. So the value proposition of Thumbs Up is it's a strong product. Okay. So that kind of adventure-based male machoism kind of a product which gets positioned. On the contrary, Pepsi positions itself as a sweet product. Okay. In some countries, when they launch the product, Pepsi sweet hai karke. So that was how they used to position the product. So predominantly, the positioning of the product is where marketing related activities, which you will be learning in MBA kind of a thing, which you will learn about positioning the product in people's minds. But because you asked this question, I brought this. But topic of my today's discussion is from a sales perspective. How do I push the product to the customer? How do I push the product to the salesperson? To the customer. So that is predominantly the nature of this thing. But still, I answered that question with an example. Hope you understood. Can you tell me whether you understood, Kirti, if you're there? Okay, next. Marketing is the only work or within the organization is there. I didn't get this question, Shashi. Can you just answer that? So, Shashi, can you explain that question? I didn't get that question. Before that, any other questions which I have missed out? As an MBA student, okay, as an MBA student, what are we learn, sir, for going in the marketing? Okay, first and foremost, now I'll give a simple example for you to understand sales from a different perspective. What do you do when you go to a Kirti? I haven't answered. Okay, yes, okay. Yeah. When you go to a doctor, what is the first thing the doctor says? Suppose I have a problem. Suppose my stomach is paining. Okay, this is a problem. I go to the doctor. First question doctor will ask is, what is wrong with you? What happened to you? Either dukta hai kya, right? He basically asks a lot of, if it is only field work. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so is this only field work? No, before that, let me answer the example about value creation. What does a doctor do? Doctor first checks you. Doctor first diagnoses your problem. And nobody tells the actual problem. Suppose my actual problem is not stomach pain. My actual problem is diaphragm ka niche 1 inch mein there is a small cut or a hole. Example, okay. But the patient will never know diaphragm mein problem hai. The patient will only say पेट दुखता है, 3 दिन से दुखता है. Now, this is nothing but in medical bhasha, we call it symptoms. Please understand, doctor only understands the symptoms. He understands the problem from the symptoms and gives you a solution to that problem. Same process if good salespeople follow. Like when I go to a college, or I go when I in my Hitachi days, when I used to go to a customer, IT guy heads, I go and talk to the IT head. First thing that I will be checking out with the IT head is what are the challenges he is or she is facing. Now there comes one thing. Will that person tell you the problem he or she faces? 100% no. If he has not seen value in you. How do you create value? We create value with our experience, expertise, knowledge, the punctuality, our behavior. All these things create value in people. If I always come late, the person does not see value. We saw value in a doctor. When the doctor said, "What is wrong with you?" We started telling him. A roadside, maybe that one guy in a tempo will ask you, all problems. We will bottles. We would have kept it. Say, we will take care of all your problems. So we will never go to that doctor or the that guy who's got a tempo and say, "मेरे को ये problem है, पेट में दर्द है, कुछ दो." We will not even go to him because we didn't see value. So the same thing here also we have to do. Be professional in your approach. Call up to fix up appointments. Call up appointments. Be there on time. Before you go for this, set the agenda of the meeting. Give some background work to the customers. And this is my company profile. This is what we do in. This is the different things which we need to, and I want to discuss with you in this case. So create value. First thing, you will get only 30 seconds in the face-to-face meeting. In the first 30 seconds, you have to tell only which is more important to the customer to create his curiosity, engage with him. Uske samne, like for example, I am a Tata Nano salesperson. When you come to my showroom, I will start with what is very good, the best feature why people come to buy Tata Nano. Sir, for very low EMI, you can get a car. For very little down payment, you can get a car. And we have got tie-ups with a lot of banks. Probably within 1 month, 2 months, you can take your car, and your car will be at your road place. Load process and all will be taken care of. This is the most important thing. Economical cars, fantastic cars for a very good price. That is what is my value proposition. But uske chod ke, if I start, sir, we have got red color, blue color, pink color, which color do you want? Then that guy will say, yaar, ye isse mera lena dena kya hai? You should understand what is create value to the customer and start your sales pitch. 30 seconds pitch, both the high level pitch, that's called the sales bhasha. It has to be perfect. You should start well, then create value, then don't start giving too much information. Jada information dega the problem hai, value will go down. Nobody respects people who gives everything in the first shot. Like so you have to create value and then keep quiet. Zip. And then ask that person. So if I were to understand, can I understand your problem so that I can give you a better solution? So that guy will start telling you, this is my problem, this is my problem, this is my problem, this is my problem. Based on all this, give importance to that. Find where the bottleneck is. Sometimes technical solution, you might not know the problem. You will always go back to your company, sit with your solution architect, solution people, product team, and they will tell this could be wrong. Let us do one more survey. Take that person along with you. Sales is not like one time happening and you get the order the next day. Some sales cycle team takes 3 months for the order to come. From start to work, it takes 3 months to 4 months. So you need to put a lot of time, efforts to understand the customer, be very serious with them, engage with them, or keep your deadlines. If you tell the customer tomorrow I will send you a rough cut solution sketch, within 30 seconds you have to give him. Within that 1 day means next day you should send him that rough solution sketching of the problem. This is what is saying. My solution team is working on that. We will come back to you later. Just honor your timelines. It creates value. So then after that, uske baad mein, the guy will tell you all his problems. Find the solution and then tell him your solution. We have your problem. We have a solution. Don't you think he's going to listen to you? But if you don't talk about uska solution, and most of the times normal sales people kya karte hai? They will come, go to any company or house and say, "Hamare paas ye hai. We have this, we have this, we have this, we have this. What do you want?" Do you think customer will buy? He will run away. It is like you going to a doctor. Doctor says, "Okay, I can do heart operation, I can do leg operation, I can do minor surgery. What do you want?" Okay. Now, when you tell this, that guy runs up because the doctor say we expect him to give solution, not to ask what do you want. So that is something which I wanted to bring to the table. Now coming to, is marketing only field work within the organization or not? There are various kind of job roles. Some will in marketing bhasha we call it inside sales also is there. Inside sales is where you will be sitting in the corporate, You will be sitting in the company, sorry, inside the office and making phone calls, or sometimes email-based selling, digital marketing kind of thing also is part of inside sales. So sometimes sales would be inside sales as well, which you finish it off on the phone itself. Okay, but sometimes field sales bhi hota hai. Both have its own advantage, but if you ask me, field sales mein aur maja aata hai. There is more fun in field sales. So there is a choice, something called as inside sales, and inside sales normally is always focused on the language perspective, especially if inside sales you're doing for US clients and your English needs to be good. English inside sales, there is one company in Hubli which does astrology. They do inside sales. They call up people and it's a website which does astrology based solutions online. They read your jataka, what do you call that, your I forgot the English name for the jataka, whatever is that called, your horoscope. Yeah, or they read your horoscope and then they give you solutions for that. So those kind of companies also have inside sales. So there they talk in the rural language depending upon what is your language. So there are inside sales is predominantly from your language skill sets. Field sales is very good. There is a combination of both. Okay, next question. Okay, HUL is an MNC company, but the major sales they're getting is by rural side. My question is Reliance and PNG being leaders in the market, but as compared to okay, see, Hindustan Lever is not from the strategies that HUL ho, ya Reliance ho, ya PNG ho. This is more from a distribution strategy. I would restrict my discussion here from a career perspective, from a sales perspective, individual perspective. Karthik, I'll share with you my email address. You can always touch base with me, or you can just drop a message, your email address. I will share with you my email address. Probably we can take this discussion offline. I don't want to dilute this video because here I wanted to focus predominantly from a perspective of individually personal sales. Okay, but yes, this distribution strategy which they use is more from a selling and distribution perspective. Okay, selling and distribution perspective. Okay, the strategies used is, we call it sales and distribution channel management. Sometimes the distributor of Hindustan Lever is so strong. In fact, Hindustan Lever makes money even before the product is dispatched. The money is there in Hindustan Lever's account before the product actually gets dispatched. So that is the kind of strategy. The distribution strategy is so powerful of HUL. So it's not a sales strategy; it's a distribution strategy, the channel management, which actually works to their advantage. Okay, which marketing field is better for girls? That's a nice personalized question, which I'll take it. First and foremost, inside sales is something which any lady can do. Normally, if it is a US market, also companies actually give pick up and drop kind of facilities. Field sales is also good as long as it is B2B. When you are going to B2B, B2B means you fix up appointments, you go to different customers, meet them, and then you sell your products. So that perspective, even that is also nice product, nice thing. I have got a lot of ladies in a lot of companies where I have worked with MNCs, where ladies do field sales as well, but it is B2B sales. B2C sales, there are obviously a lot of ladies there, but depending upon your background, if you're coming from a technical background or an engineering background kind of a thing, then I would very strongly say get into B2B solution sales. Growth is faster in a B2B, B2B solution selling, because you can actually go fast. Okay, yeah. Shashi Kumar email address is proframnivenkat@gmail.com. You send me a mail, I'll definitely call you back. Okay, Sahana, have I answered your question? So focus only on one thing. Focus predominantly on value creation, and always understand only one thing. Why do customers buy? Customers don't buy because they like you. They don't buy because they like your company. The only reason why customers buy is because they have a problem and your product or your solution can solve my problem. It is as simple as that. Okay, from an MBA marketing perspective, Sahana, you can always definitely work from a B2B perspective. If you have also done HR, you can do it from a HR recruiters kind of a job, perfectly fine. You can get into field sales, which is this thing. Why I'm normally a bit apprehensive about getting into distribution strategy is because I'll give some. Karthik was asking about Hindustan Unilever, so let me take a HUL only. So HUL companies which are based predominantly marketing-driven organizations, the CEO normally will not be coming from a sales background. He will be coming from the marketing background. Whereas if you are into a B2B solution selling, the marketing team says the sales team is much more stronger than the marketing department. In a Unilever or Procter and Gamble, the marketing guy is the guy who creates the advertisements, creates the copy, creates the positioning. His statements is far more higher at a position than the field sales executive. So you rising to a CEO level job will be very tough if you start from the selling of FMCG kind of goods. You will have to shift tracks to another company to rise faster. Whereas if you are into B2B sales, solution selling sales, so then क्या होता है, the organization are predominantly in B2B solution selling. The backbone of the organization is sales driven. Marketing is not that as strong as sales is stronger. So you probably rise up faster than the marketing guy of that. I'm bringing a differentiate between marketing jobs and sales job in those kind of companies. So that is one of the reasons why I probably always say solution selling is probably which can take you to a next level faster. So B2B sales is probably a fast level, especially from a lady's perspective also. That's the reason. Kirti, you asked me something, the message has got retracted. I don't know why. Any questions anybody has, you can ask. Any other questions that is left out? So understand something, the slide share wise also, anybody, please understand predominantly, if you ask me what is sales, okay, somebody were asking me how to sell and all. I have one more video on the same channel, yelling is not selling, because that is again, that topic gives you front ending, how you can go sit with the customer, how to make your sales pitch, all that in detail I have talked for 1 hour. The topic, the video's name is yelling is not selling, because a lot of times people say shouting means selling. No, shouting is not selling. You need to understand the customer's problem and then find the solution to the problem. So that is one thing which I would like to bring to the table. So anybody else, any questions? So remember 2 things. The basic yarn which I would like to share here is customers buy only because they see a solution. So you have to be the person who is carrying the solution and delivering it to the customers, because everybody has a problem. If your product can solve their problems, nothing like it. Okay, that's the first thing which I would like to buy. So anybody, if there is no more questions, I would like to say thanks for the buy-in. If you like this video, you can always subscribe to my channel. I normally do once in a month or twice in a month. I share some videos. You want me to talk on some other topics from sales, marketing, gamification, startup perspective, there are a lot of videos in my channel. You can actually watch those videos as well. And what are the basic skills required for marketers? First and foremost is empathy. I will not use the word communication, because a lot of times the first thing that people will say is communication. My expertise in sales says sales is not about communication. Sales is about empathy. Do you put yourself in the other person's shoes? Do you understand the challenges that this person faces? Are you able to get information out of that person? Unless you empathize with the other person, no, it is going to be very tough for you to go ahead and get information, find problems, and then position your solution. So the first thing that I will say any good marketer or salesperson should have is empathy. Empathy means those बाकी लोगों के प्रति सहानुभूति, that is sympathy. It is beyond sympathy. You need to put yourself in the other person's shoes and think like that person. So that is the first thing, empathy. Along with that, little bit of communication is also needed, because you might have the best idea. If you cannot present your idea well, that person will not take it from you. So first is empathy, second is communication. Third thing is one more thing from a sales perspective. Sometimes after creating value, you should know how to let go. वो let go नहीं किया ना, तब भी धंधा नहीं होता है. Okay, when I say let go, the beauty here is, like, I'll give an example. You go to buy shoes. Okay, you ask Commercial Street, Bangalore, how much is this shoes? That guy says 1,000 rupees. You say, "Bhaiya 600 में देता है क्या?" Now that guy will say no. He takes the bag from you and put it back in the. He says, "It doesn't. I can afford it for 600 rupees." You turn back. Now what you did was you let go. Immediately, if you asked him 650 mein deta hai kya, he knows you will come till 900 also. But you let go, you walk the back, and then that guy will call you 900 mein deta hai kya, then you know you will get it for 650 also. So understand, sometimes along with empathy, along with communication, you should also know when to let go, because beyond a certain point you should create value by leading, because sometimes if you keep agreeing to everything that the customer says, your value will come down. One example, same example. You buy a shoes, or you ask for how much is the shoes, he says 1,000 rupees. In your mind, you feel it is worth 600. just for testing. You asked him 200 mein deta hai kya? Will you give it for 200? Now if that guy gives you, okay, give me money, give me money. So immediately will you not start doubting it? Huh? 200 may be ready ho gaya. Let me check. So you will not buy it. But on the contrary, 600 was what you felt it was worth. When you're getting it for 200, total thing, the value should have increased in your mind, but it didn't increase. It actually reduced. So you suddenly started doubting yourself. So understand, sometimes knowing to when to let go, sometimes that's a very powerful tool. Unfortunately, not many people know how to let go. That is one more characteristics which is required from a sales perspective. So predominantly, if you ask me three things, very strongly empathy, 70% empathy, 20% communication, 10% let go. I think if you have these three skills, you should be able to be doing very good business. Sharath sir, I hope I answered the question. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? Any final questions? Thanks all of you. I had around a few participants watching. Thanks so much. Let's keep in touch. You all can send me a mail, and if you like this, please subscribe to my channel. There are a lot of good videos. I would very strongly recommend all of you to watch Yelling is Not Selling. That video I've actually spoken about exactly how you sell. The sales process is described in detail in that video. Okay, so let's keep in touch. That's my email address, from me venkat@gmail.com. If you have to touch base with me, you can probably touch base with me. Thank you all for the buy-in. Buy-in was a nice word because I thought sales basha hai, so let me use the same sales basha. So thanks for the buy-in. Once again, thanks for a few people have already liked the video. Thanks so much. So wish you all the very best. God bless you. Stay safe, be safe, enjoy the IPL as well. Thank you and bye. Take care.